What's up YouTube? In this video we're going to take a look at another custom torsion differential. This is one of my own design and I'm going to show you how this works, how to build it, what parts are included and the advantages that this has over some of the others in this series. If you haven't already, go and check out some of the previous videos in this series as we cover different types of torsion differentials, as well as a bit more in depth of an explanation as to what torsion differentials actually are and kind of why they're useful, especially in your own Lego designs. Just to cover it off, basically what a torsion differential does is enable the two wheels of a vehicle to move at different speeds, allowing that vehicle to turn without one of the wheels slipping. And this is done in the typical differential provided by Lego pretty well, but it does have a significant problem. And that problem is that when one of the wheels is stuck, like in this video here, it will put all of the power to the other wheel, and essentially it will get stuck on things. The torsion differential that we're looking at today, however, gets over that problem. So on the screen you'll see all of the part numbers if you want to get these from Bricklink. But let's get stuck into the build. This build uses two of the turntable components shown here, unlike any of the others in this series. This comes with a couple of ups and downs really. So the first being that, or the positive side of this being that it gives you a little bit more stability when you're connecting it to a frame or connecting it to the build itself, and it also means that you can have two drive cogs, which we'll cover in a later part of this video. The downside is that it does make it a bit bigger, certainly it makes it wider, and so that's going to affect obviously the overall size of your build. But if you're building something that's of a decent size, you're probably not going to have too many issues. I think the biggest challenge with torsion differentials is that they don't fit into the standard frame, and they make the front end and back end, whether you're using suspension or steering, overall they make that a little bit bigger, and there's a few challenges in terms of integrating it into the overall build. I like to try and use these axles with stops wherever I can in these torsion differentials, just because they tend not to slip out of the device when you're actually using it, and it also means you don't need to build additional components that typically add further to the width of the vehicle in order to prevent them from falling out. But I think in general, if you're just building like an RC type vehicle for fun, and it's not going to be climbing over rough terrain obstacles, you're not going to need a torsion differential in the vehicle anyway. I personally just enjoy making these as just a challenge. I find it interesting to try and come up with new ways of overcoming kind of engineering problems, especially with Lego. It's important to note here that when you're putting in these gears, they need to align with the worm gears, so you need one above and below each of the worm gears. and then that will work. If you don't do it like this, you'll have to take the whole thing to bits and put it back together again. That is how you build this torsion differential, and in the next clip I'm going to show you how to implement this, or how to put this into one of your builds. There's not as many ways as there are with some of the others, but this is a very strong, very robust, heavy duty torsion differential. So here I've installed the torsion differential in a frame, and I've put this into just a basic RC buggy so that you can get an idea of how this works. So we've got two gears that drive the differential, which we can see here, and that obviously turns when we hit the motor. Now if we put some pressure on one of these wheels, the other one will turn, and so this kind of shows that yeah, you can turn the vehicle without one of the wheels slipping. And when we apply some pressure, we can actually start to feel that the torsion differential builds up a little bit of pressure, or at least that wheel is trying to turn and it's not just continually slipping. You can see here that when we try to turn the wheel with pressure on one, that both wheels will try and turn, and that essentially means that we can overcome those obstacles that we talked about earlier. So this is a really nice little example. As I say, it is a little bit wider than some of the others in this series, but that being said, it is probably more robust than most of them. And yeah, if you're using this in like an off-road vehicle or something like that, having two gears to connect with it across two axles gives you a little bit more room to maybe add a little bit more power in there through extra motors and so forth. And the extra gears just give you some extra grip. So all good if you're trying to drive up the torque on the vehicle to allow it to go over obstacles. Check out the next video in this series where we will have a look at another type of torsion differential. And if you haven't already, check out some of the other videos previous in this series where we cover again some other types of torsion differentials, as well as the different types of Lego differentials that kind of come as standard. Thanks for watching. If you like this video, please give us a like, and if you want to see more content like this, hit the subscribe button. If you've got any questions, leave them in the comment section below. We'll see you next time.